Blockchain can be used in ad tech in many ways. We're starting with 3 different use cases, but before we go there, just to explain to the viewers on what blockchains are, it's a new type of database that has a bunch of components, and the main one is immutability, which allows a record to never be changed. And as a consequence of that, we get a feature that allows us to store value on the internet, which never has been able to be done before. So we have so just like when I hand someone a dollar bill in real life, I don't have it anymore. Now with a technology like this, I can hand someone a piece of data and know where it is in the supply chain and that it can't be resold and it can't be misunderstood. And so one of the main features that gives us is security to know where an ad dollar is being spent in the supply chain. And so when a brand spends $1 and the publisher sees 40 cents, there's a lot that happens in the middle of that supply chain. And today there really is no way to know how that is being spent besides the contracts between each company. We have a foundation coming out called AdLedger, which we're getting the industry together to come up with the rules of how a ledger would work across the industry using a blockchain to track these type of things. One of the other main applications we're focused on is data portability, to allow data in secure walled gardens to be shared with each other. So we can have impressions and data shared between publishers and brands to really understand the value of what that data is and to bring more value to the supply chain on the outside. The last use case, which takes a little bit longer to get involved in because the industry needs to be running on it, is it's proper attribution on the supply chain. So a brand can spend their dollar and really understand the lift that's happening. There are many companies right now that are servicing that part of the industry and charging a significant amount of the ad dollars to do that. However, if that information of dollar spent all the way to purchase was a consequence of this shared database, that becomes commoditized. And what we see is that it will allow much larger innovation to happen in the industry if everyone isn't concentrated on just getting the data from point of sale back to what the advertisement is. But if we can innovate very quickly on creative and new interaction techniques, the rest of the industry can start competing with similar things that Facebook or Google does, since they have the entire verticalized supply chain in-house. Another amazing use case of blockchains is the ability to trade information. So just like people today might trade Bitcoin or might trade other stores of value on the internet, we can safely store data. So at a publisher like ABC, let's say, and another publisher like NBC, ABC may know who's in there, might understand a viewer that's watching TV right now. And NBC may not know anything about them. And so now NBC can query the blockchain network and say, hey, who is this person? And buy that information themselves rather than going through a DSP and paying a lot of money for that. And so it allows a peer-to-peer data sharing between walled gardens.